What is going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm bringing you a different type of video. In the NFT world, we find ourselves working 12 to 15 hours a day because this space, 5 minutes feels like 5 years in the space. So we're constantly plugged in, and it can be really hard to maintain a good health schedule and stay on top of things, especially in our daily lives when we're so plugged in like this. Today, what I'm going to be going over is a few things that I personally do to maintain a healthy lifestyle while also being able to do as much work as possible in the NFT space. Some of this you might agree with, some of this you might not agree with. It'll work differently for other people, but this is what I've found to work best for me and keeps me the most happy. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I've got things actually ranked, not necessarily from most important to least important, but the first two are definitely my most important. First, we're talking about sleep. We're not gonna go too into it because obviously, you've heard it. We all know that we need to get more sleep, but actually doing it is a different story. Of course, we know without good sleep, we lack concentration. But the reason I actually have sleep ranked first is because it's the basis of willpower. It takes us willpower to make food, it takes us willpower to exercise, but our willpower is depleted when we don't get enough sleep. So when we don't get enough sleep, we're not gonna feel like doing all of the other things on this list. Now over here, we've got this study. It's just among teens, so it's not like incredibly important, but the concept is basic. So we won't spend too much time on this, but it says sleep deprivation increases the likelihood teens will suffer myriad negative consequences. Now, again, this is not just teens, it's for adults too, but granted, adults are able to handle it a lot better, including an inability to concentrate, poor grades, which, we're not worrying about grades, being drowsy, anxiety and depression. Those two are really big, especially in the NFT space where everything's just go, go, go. Even I get anxious. I do all this stuff and sometimes that anxiety is still really powerful. So I've got some other things to take care of that though. This stuff, it's a little heavy, but the point is not getting enough sleep is not good, and it's really bad for our health, and it's gonna have some consequences later down the line. First thing to do is fix our sleep. Once we have an established regular sleep schedule, we can start to manipulate it a little bit. So say you go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning as well. So slowly we can start dialing back, try to move it to 1:30 and set an alarm for 9:30, like 15-30 minute intervals. We should be able to move it back a little bit. Should help with your internal clock. The next thing I've got is actually rest. And the reason I bring this up is because one day a week, and it's usually Sundays for me, I have it as a rest day. No working out. I pretty much sit around and play video games all day. Granted, I'm still a little bit plugged into Twitter and Discord and all that stuff because obviously important stuff is still happening on Sunday, but I take my foot fully off the brake in terms of other work that I'm doing, YouTube videos, e-commerce, all that stuff. I kind of just allow myself to enjoy myself because when we take ourselves away from the things we like to do, like I like to play video games, it definitely has an effect on our work, which you would think I'm just being more productive, I'm getting more work done. Well, obviously that's not the case. We need time to enjoy ourselves, relax a little bit, kind of live in the real world. If you've got a family, go out with them. If you've got a girlfriend, all those other obligations. So every Sunday, I actually take a rest day, and it allows me to hit Monday even harder because when you're rested and you're like, oh, I'm ready to get back to work, because that's what happens when I actually take a rest day on Sunday. I get super bored and then come Monday, I'm just ready to hit the ground running. I hammer it in, and I actually find it makes me a lot more productive during the weekdays. And then as the week starts winding down, I get to Saturday and I'm like, thank God that Sunday is tomorrow because I could really use a rest day. So it helps with avoiding that burnout and all that stuff. Now, next is supplementation. This is something that a lot of us avoid as well. I've got some supplements over here that you can actually get on Amazon. This one right here is magnesium. Super important, pretty underrated, and I usually take it every day, but it's more so just because of the medications I take. They can be extremely dehydrating and they drain my magnesium a little bit. This one being one of the most important ones, it's fish oil. So we actually lack a lot of omega-3s and stuff like that. So I take fish oil. It's 1,000 milligrams soft gels, but I take, it's only 600 milligrams of actual omega-3s in there. Still, fatty acids are really important for brain health, which is important in the world of NFTs where pretty much feeling brain dead most of the time. Next, we've actually got these dopamine and serotonin supplements because the depression hits pretty hard in NFT land. So we've got some dopamine and serotonin supplements to artificially jack up our hormones. because we're depressed. But these actually do work really well. It's hard to explain. They kind of upped my base level of happiness, if that makes sense. It's not like euphoria all the time, but they kind of just up that baseline level. These are actually on Amazon, and I highly recommend you give them a go. Dr. Maxwell, dopamine, serotonin. I mean, again, you guys, this is not like sponsored or anything. I've got 100 subscribers, so I don't know what you want from me. But in terms of supplements, that's all I take. I also recommend a multivitamin, but I'm actually all out of mine as it is. Now, supplementation, I only have this one on here because nutrition comes next. You should really focus on nutrition a little bit more than supplementation. Supplementation is just to get those extra things that you're not getting from your nutrition. I mean, I exercise a lot and my girlfriend cooks for me. So she cooks me some really healthy meals and stuff like that. But I mean, in terms of nutrition, this one's really hard to hammer down because if you don't have time to cook, you can find yourself just pretty much grabbing whatever's in sight. So here's my recommendation. First of all, finding healthy snacks that you like. You don't have to force yourself to eat stuff that makes you gag. You don't have to force yourself to down protein powder. That's not a fun way to do it. That's not an enjoyable way to do it. Finding those simple, small nuances in your day just kind of make better choices. Instead of a juice, maybe just going for water, straight water, or like lemon water or something like that. Those tiny choices are really what add up and make that huge difference. When our nutrition is good, our brain health is good, and we're able to focus more on the work that we're doing. So I definitely recommend surrounding yourself with some snacks that you like personally. Now this, again, not sponsored recommendation, but these Premier Protein shakes, anything Premier Protein, they even make cereal, okay? Anything Premier Protein is the absolute bomb. I basically live off this stuff. And there's only 160 calories, 30 grams of protein. I know this isn't a fitness channel, but I'm trying to help you guys as much as I can here. Now, lastly, what we're going to be talking about is movement. Now, as you guys know, I am really into calisthenics and weightlifting, especially for my legs, but I mainly specialize in calisthenics. Movement is an extremely important part of my day. And this doesn't mean you have to like start a full-blown workout routine. I understand some people out there are beginners, but when we get really caught up in this NFT stuff, it's really easy to forget to move. You know, we're at our computers all day trying to keep up with everything that's going on. When we're not at our computers, we're on our phones. So it's really important to keep up with this movement. Every day, I'll actually link in the description as well. I watch a YouTuber called Tom Merrick, and he's got a 5-minute morning mobility routine that I do every single morning. And I find that really starts my day off well. It's only 5 minutes, so it's not like a huge obligation. But even later in the day, I'm feeling glad I did it because it just kind of works out those kinks that you build up just from sitting all day and then sleeping. It kind of works some of that stuff out. And then obviously I work out actually 4 times a week. So I've got a training split that rotates between upper body and legs. So it's not like I'm working out every single day, but I work out enough to just kind of keep that baseline level, still working towards my goals. I recommend throwing together some fitness goals. I mean, again, this isn't a fitness channel, so that's not what I'm going to be leaning towards, but I definitely recommend, even if it's just going for a walk, like you don't have to be a fitness expert, going for a walk every day, even just like in the morning, afternoon, and night, just getting yourself moving. And it can be the smallest things. Like if you're an absolute beginner, you don't have time or whatever, the smallest things, you know, taking the stairs. It's like all these tiny things combined is what really starts leading up and making a difference. You don't have to have this guru wake up in the morning, 5:30 a.m., meditate, take a freezing cold shower routine, you know. I take hot showers like everybody else does. It can really be anything. You can fit it to your schedule. And in the end, that's what's gonna help you the most, is something that you can adapt to your schedule. Because no one routine is gonna be fit for every single person, especially in this space where everything's just up and down, and you're a busy influencer, or there's mints going on, or you're running a project, or you're a moderator for a project. There's just no time for it, especially with real life obligations. We've got jobs, we've got families, we've got girlfriends, boyfriends. Finding that balance is extremely important, but I do think it's possible. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the only one in the NFT space that has a regular sleep schedule and exercise routine, but hopefully that helps some of you throw that together. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to hit that like button. If you guys want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another upload. I got more NFT content for you guys on the way, and I will see you guys later.